Welcome back. Now, each year, the hunters of the Faroe Islands in Scandinavia kill some 1,500 pilot whales. It's seen as very much part of their culture. The mammals are herded towards the shore, where they're beached and killed. The meat is then shared with the whole community. Well, animal rights campaigners condemn whaling as cruel and inhumane. But one former green activist, Australian Kate Sanderson, has changed her tune. She's now an active campaigner for the pro-whaling lobby and chairs the North Atlantic Marine Mammal Commission. Every woman travelled to the Faroe Islands to meet her, but be warned, because some of you may find these pictures distressing.
We're in the Faroe Islands, a small group of islands between Iceland and Scotland in the North Atlantic. Here, people have been hunting pilot whales for centuries.
Most people will realise that if you're going to eat meat, you have to kill an animal, and this is not something you normally see when you live in a big city. You don't have that kind of contact with the processes of getting food.
Some Russians outside, but I haven't seen the smile off.
Well, I said upstairs in 10 minutes. But,
Kate Sanderson is from Australia, but has lived in the Faroe Islands for more than 20 years. She represents the Faroese government in fishery negotiations and chairs NAMCO, the North Atlantic Whaling Commission.
When I did see the hunt for the first time, I was actually quite surprised at how little it shocked me. And I was expecting it to be bloody, of course, and dramatic, and it was, but it was at the same time very well organised and systematic, and that aspect of it surprised me, I suppose, but just it didn't shock me. Another part of the uniqueness of Faroese whaling is the distribution of the catch. It's distributed free. The general rule is that everybody gets a share, so it's something that really keeps community ties very strong. Well, the protest against whaling in the Faroes started with a bang, and it took everybody by surprise, and the Faroes had never ever experienced this kind of onslaught of protest before. And that was largely to do with the fact that the pictures of the hunt were distributed so widely through international news media and hadn't really been seen before.
Suddenly the government was flooded with thousands and thousands of letters and postcards. There was an urgent need to address this and to explain the hunt and its cultural importance. And because Kate Sanderson already had done research of the hunt and was able to translate from Faroese, she was offered the job.
It was rather disturbing to see so many very angry letters, some of them quite abusive, in fact. Mostly they came from the US and the UK, but also in Australia. People responding to some sensational images and not bothering to consider the context and the culture.
Är du där över grind? Alltså grind är att lägga på pastan ut i bilen nu så direkt ut i grind.
But they all eat it?
Nej.
Första bilen.
Ja, första bilen. Där är bakvast då.
I think that a lot of people have reacted to it because the people doing it look like you and me. These are blonde-haired, blue-eyed Western Europeans behaving in a way that people would otherwise consider something that's Aboriginal. In some ways there was a positive impact from this big wave of protest, because there were some questions about the hunt that needed to be answered. For, in particular, whether or not the hunt was sustainable, whether the numbers of whales being caught on an annual basis could be sustained in the long term. But I think there was obviously a concern that, well, we need to make sure that we can continue to kill whales for food in the Faroes, and we need to do it responsibly. The fact that people still, in a modern Western society, with all the modern conveniences of the globalised world, are still prepared to do this. They're still prepared to kill their own animals for food, and they're conscious of the need to maintain the knowledge and the skill that you need to be able to do that. Perhaps one could say that fish are the new whales. There are certain organisations that persist in sensationalising the use of nature. For fishing as well as for whaling, for all use of nature, our main goal is to make sure that what we do is sustainable. We're not going to cut off the branch that we sit on. And we're completely dependent on the sea, and we have to make sure that the way we use the sea and its resources, we can continue to do that in the future.